Alright, this is Dakota's fourth ride. So you'll kind of see a couple different things, like I'm definitely going to be walking more, staring more, adding in different behaviors. I think she's a little uncomfortable once I step on her because as soon as, or sat on her, once I sat on her, her tail switched a bit and she wanted to walk off. So I definitely think working with her with the saddle is going to help, and you'll see that later on here. And that was a nice little hindquarter yield though. I just kind of picked up that rein when she was walking forward, yielded her hindquarters, and she stopped. So that is good. Again, I'm going to cut out the parts where we're repositioning her or talking and stuff just so this video is not super long because that was a lot of that because I had to plan with my husband what he was going to do and stuff because he's not a horse person. He doesn't know exactly what to do, but he can lead her, so worked out just fine. So I was going to work on some steering and some hindquarter yields, and I wanted that block out of the way, so I'm just going to pick up my left rein here, and she steps that left hind leg underneath her. Very nice. I was asking for a few more steps than I've had in the past. That looks really good. And so what I want to do here is kind of have her go almost all the way around in a circle here. And my husband kind of got a little left behind, so he kind of pulled on the halter a little bit. So that was just a miscommunication here, but here we go. And I think maybe I was looking for a lateral flexion, and that's what it was. I'm asking for a lateral flexion, and she thought hindquarter yield. That's why I was going all around so much. And then she flexed, and then I hopped off. So I think I probably should have done a little bit more flexions before I asked for a lot of hindquarter yields, and I think that was probably a big part of that. She's just a little confused. And then especially when my husband gets kind of left behind on that turn there, and then she's got two different signals. So we're working out the kinks a little bit, but that's why we have so many talks between and we're like trying to plan. So I'm just asking for flexion here. She thinks hindquarter yield. I'm just going to stay with her and just show her the answer here. I just want her to flex. That's all I'm looking for. Just gently holding. She almost had it there, and then she wanted to move her feet, and that's okay. I'm going to let her move her feet and wait for her to figure it out. I'm just kind of scratching her with my other hand. There, her feet are stopped. I just like a little bit of movement with that nose, and then I'll let go. So she's kind of just stuck here. There it is, and then I let go, and I'll hop off immediately. She was a little confused, and then she found the answer. I'm gonna give her a treat real quick because that was a little bit of a struggle for her. She got it confused with hindquarter yield. I even did in the beginning because I was like, okay, we're doing more hindquarter yield, but I was like, I didn't have my dressage whip to kind of help that hip move over, so it was the lateral flexion is what I was looking for here. So hop back on. Lots of sitting time here. Should have sat for a little bit longer probably. There, that was really nice. You could see that she picked that up really quickly, and I just hopped right off. I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So once she figured it out and found, and I released exactly when I wanted her to, after she performed the behavior I wanted her to do, then she figured it out and did it again. Here she's a little confused, wants to move off a bit. I'm just gonna get her back in position here. And this is probably a clip that I forgot to cut out, but this is all the pieces that I'm cutting out is this, just positioning of a horse. So I kind of get my block situated and hop back on. Lots of petting on her. I don't want to just sit there and not move. I want to move around. There, that was much better. She kind of hung out there and stayed. And yeah, I should have probably worked on the flexion a little bit sooner, especially with she wants to walk. I could kind of bend her a little bit then. So I'm just holding here with my right rein this time. So she's probably going to be confused again because I'm doing it on the other side. And I'm just going to hold and wait here. There, she stopped her feet. Very good. I just want a little bit of flexion with her nose to the right here, and then I'll let go. Right there. Very nice. And off we go. Perfect. Give her a little treat. She's figuring it out, so I just have hay in this bag. I'm just going to go for some hay. But she's figuring it out, so yeah, if I do it on the other side, I'm not going to immediately assume that she knows it just because she did it on the other side, especially right now because that's very new behavior for her. So. Lots of padding on her neck and her hindquarters. Then I'll pick up and ask for some flexion. Beautiful. Yeah, see how fast she learns? Like, that's amazing. She did a nice little flexion. I probably should have stopped and dropped that rein a little sooner. and I didn't, and then she thought, well, maybe I should turn because she's used to that hind quarter yield already. But then she finally stops her feet, and then she gives me a little flexion, and I hop off. So I should have done the flexions first, instead of the hind quarter yield. Um, Probably that would have probably helped her out a little bit. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not that big of a deal, but I guess if I would have redone it in this manner, I would have taught the flexions first. But I mean, just little things like this. We taught all the little behaviors in this way. So asking for that flexion again, she's a lot slower and thinking about it a little bit more. She knows the answer is to stand and flex versus circle and follow it. And then she knows she's gonna go get a treat because I'm walking away from her. She's trying to follow me there. So I'll bring her a little piece of hay here. But I mean, really, this little method that I have going on right now worked pretty well for her. I don't think it's bad in any way. Right now, I'm trying to use a little bit more positive reinforcement and try to do it more on my own, just because I know a lot of people don't have other people to help them, and my husband wasn't always available to help me either, so that was kind of like a scheduling conflict. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. But I'm gonna do a little bit of, I think, steering. I'm gonna do some steering. I'm not sure if I wanted to bend to a halt or just steer. Okay, do just some steering there. So that looks nice. So I'm just kind of having him give her a little bit more line, and I'm just going to do a little bit more steering since she's kind of got that flexion. That was a very nice halt. And so you can see we're just walking further and further than we have before. So I'm just kind of building on everything that she's worked on in the past 3 lessons. And she wants to kind of move a little bit here. So again, she might be a little uncomfortable. She might be anticipating. You just kind of have to pay attention to your horse and what they're telling you. But we need to work on the halt here and just work on standing still. So that's good. She actually stood pretty nicely here after that. So a little bit of a flexion. Perfect. Still wants to move a bit. That's okay. Just going to pet on her. Okay, I think I'm asking her to move now. And then just doing a little steering here to my right. Nice. I'm just still looking for a little tiny step. That's all I'm looking for. And then lots of petting. So again, my right rein's open. I want her to steer to the right a little bit. So if she gets stuck, my husband will help her out. Ask for that halt, and he kind of keeps walking. That's exactly what I want. I want her slowly transitioning to listening to me as the rider and not the leader, the ground person that's leading her. So that was very nice. And that can be a little tricky to kind of coordinate, and that's why there's so many pieces. Like, we're repositioning her, we're talking about what we're gonna do with her, so that's why there's so many cuts in here. Okay, so hop back on her after her snack, and he's giving me plenty of lead rope so she can kind of move around. I'm asking her to go forward before he moves off so that she starts learning those cues. Asking her to go here, so he's giving her plenty of reins so she can kind of turn away from him. That's going to be new for her. I'm just kind of giving and taking a little bit. I kind of need to get a little bit more forward first before I can actually steer too much. There we go. Probably should have stuck with that right rein. She was a little confused, so I'm not asking for right and then left right away. I should just do a lot of left and then a lot of right and then start mixing them together. I think I'm trying to get her to go forward on her own. There we go. And he's kind of more in a lunging position. So that's going to be something new for her too, is just kind of going without having that person in front. Very good. And she's a little confused, so she's a little hesitant to go forward. And that stop looks really good. The backup looks really good. She's getting there for sure. I like the progress like that we've made in 4 rides. Like, if you don't know the little things, like the little behaviors that we're teaching, like it looks like I'm not doing anything. She's actually learning a lot and has a ton more behaviors in 4 rides. So I'm really happy with that. I don't care if she's on a lead line or not. Like, I'm gonna have this horse forever. Like, she's 3. I don't need to be doing a bunch of stuff with her. That's just not necessary. If I teach her the basics well now, I can ride her till she's 30. So, you know, that's kind of the idea here. So that looked nice, good. We got the solid on the halt there. The halt looks good. Again, she wants to move a little bit. Same issue here with the mounting. So, like, if you continue to do something and it's not working, we got to find another way to fix it or another solution to the problem. So I'm asking for a little bit of flexion. Very nice. That looks good. Just a little bit with her nose. That's all I'm looking for. And then same way the other way. We just can't really see it here from this angle. Ask her to go forward and just kind of see if he can be in like that lunging position and see if she can go past him and kind of steer a little bit more. Because the kind of next steps here is I want him more in the lunging position so then I can get into do more going forward on my own, more steering on my own, and then go into those faster gaits like a trot and a canter, and I'll have him help me out with those from the lunging position. So asking her to go forward here a little bit with my legs and my voice cues, and I probably could have given him a stick at this time to kind of help show her the answer, just to hold so she kind of connects it to the lunging. That would have helped too, and I think we do that later on. Okay, and then she's good at the halt. We know we got the halt down, but we got to work on going forward a little bit more. She's very sticky, just like she was in the groundwork. Same thing. Um, I mean, those behaviors are gonna look similar under saddle because that's kind of how she is as she gets sticky. But we got to work on that with me riding her now too. I'm trying to steer her over here. That was good. Do kind of like a little hindquarter step over. Bit of flexion. Might be asking for the hindquarter yield here, or just a turn to the right. Yep, just a turn to the right then. I couldn't see where my foot was, so I didn't know if I was asking for hindquarter yield or not here. Just some steering in a little circle. Very good. Give her a treat. Because I want the basics like the steering, the stopping, the going forward, flexing so I can bend her to a stop. I can yield her hindquarters. I want all that stuff in place before I'm off the line for sure. Those are just going to be your basics. And have her go forward. That looks good a lot. She's a little bit more forward with him up front, you can tell. I'm trying to steer around him and go the other way. Good. I'm asking for a hindquarter yield here, and we got a little confused because he was not as close as he needed to be. But we did end up yielding the hindquarters and stopping somewhat. That one was a little bit messy. She didn't really cross her hind legs over, but that's okay. We're going to work on that. I know it's in her. It's just we got to add up the amount of space we're like walking or time we're walking, and then add in that hindquarter yield. Ask her to go forward. Good. She went forward on my cues there. And as soon as I pet her, she kind of wants to stop again. And I can just ask her to go forward again. And I'm asking her, I should get my forward before I try to do a lot of steering here. And then I think I'm asking for a hindquarter yield here. That looks good. She's stepping under knee. Or if I'm asking for a bend to a stop, not a hindquarter yield. Because I want her to go forward and then bend to a stop. Go forward, bend to a stop. And be really soft in that halter. So yeah, I'm just waiting for her to flex here because she stopped her feet. Now I'm going to wait for the flexion of the nose. There we go. Very subtle, and then I'm going to hop off. That's exactly what I wanted. Give her a treat. That was a really good session for her. Just adding more things together, doing more walking, bending to a stop we're doing, a bit more steering, going forward on our own. So just expanding on all the things that we've been doing. And she's looking pretty good. So I definitely, obviously, we have lots to work on. This is her fourth ride, but she's looking really good, and I'm happy with all of her progress with that.